Good afternoon, Dr. Bhatt.
Good afternoon, Avarna.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to our conversation on systems thinking. So, we are going to explore a
Yes, I'm
topic.
also very much eager.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, we are going to explore this topic, which is extremely important, and not a lot of people know about this topic. What I have
Indeed.
known with the conversations that I have had with you a little earlier, that this topic has the capacity to solve complex recurring problems, and we all face problems in our life. Um, so it is going to be amazing to actually know more about this topic from you. First, sir, I would like to introduce you, and I'm so honored to do so. Dear audience, Dr. Bhatt brings over 25 years of experience across industries, engineering, healthcare, and product innovation. He holds a PhD from IIT and a certification in systems thinking from MIT Sloan. Sir has led and coached large scale innovation programs across industries. Welcome, sir. We are blessed to have you over this conversation.
Thank you very much.
Let's get started with this, sir. And in the beginning,
Sure.
we would love to know about your professional journey and how did you get introduced to systems thinking?
Okay. Very good question. So, I have a professional journey of about 25 years, spreading across academics to industry. So, I have a PhD, master's and PhD from IIT Kharagpur. And then I work in engineering colleges in Maharashtra for about 6 years. And in 1997, I started my corporate journey and starting from in Pune in parametric technology, working in MCAD software development. So I worked there for 3 years. Then the year 2000, I went to Bangalore Philips as a software architect to lead a medical imaging platform development. It is a global project. So I worked there for about 10 years and with multiple releases. And in 2010, I returned back to Pune, Philips.
Okay.
But this time it is not only software, it was complete X-ray based medical devices.
Okay.
So I was fortunate to work multiple new product innovation for global markets and total 10 new product development experience I got. And I was really felt very, very lucky to get that kind of experience. So that is how my career professional journey continued.
So, what a illustrious career, I must say. So, talking about systems thinking, how did you get introduced to the topic?
That's a very interesting question because it is most of the time who have gone into system thinking have stumbled upon that. So something similar happened to me. For years, I watched engineering and software teams struggle, projects running late, budgets ballooning, teams overwhelmed by complexity. Despite their best efforts with analytical approach, they were caught in a cycle of firefighting rather than solving problem holistically.
So, we all experience firefighting in our personal as well as professional lives. And do you think system thinking has the capacity to uh, save us from firefighting?
Absolutely. So system thinking is a way of looking at problems as part of a bigger whole. So, not in isolation. That's the most important part. It focuses on how different parts of his business or a process connect and influence each other. In short, traditional thinking fixes parts, whereas systems thinking transforms the whole. That is the fundamental difference.
The word transformation is extremely powerful, and if a concept has that capacity to transform something, I'm sure it's extremely powerful. Even if systems thinking has so much power, sir, there isn't still a widespread awareness about this.
Absolutely.
Why is it so, sir?
Particularly in India. So I also stumbled upon system thinking in 2021 during early phase of COVID. The pivotal moment was we were in an offsite meeting and managers mentioned that most of the engineers do not understand the use cases and the environment of medical devices. And hence, they make a lot of assumptions which leads to undesirable outcomes later and which is very expensive.
Hmm.
I was asked by the management team if there is a holistic method available.
Oh, that helped. Okay.
So the pivotal moment was the week after, in the weekend, I was doing Google and I just type holistic approach, long term, and then it pop up.
So, we may have missed the last part. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
So, if you could just repeat for our listeners, what was the pivotal moment in your project, which where you actually applied systems thinking? If you could just repeat that for us.
Yes. So I stumbled upon systems thinking in 2021
2021.
during early phase of COVID. Yeah. So the pivotal moment was we were in a offsite meeting and all the managers mentioned that most of the engineers do not understand the use case of medical devices
Hmm.
and hence they make a lot of assumptions which leads to undesirable outcomes later and which is very expensive. And I was asked by the management team if there is a holistic method available so that we really avoid these problems and which is very costly.
Okay. Okay.
So the pivotal moment was in the weekend. I searched for holistic approach in Google and Google pop up systems thinking. And I
Oh,
was really surprised.
okay. Okay. Wonderful. Um, so how is systems thinking different from design thinking, or are they the same?
Yeah, so that is a very common misunderstanding between system thinking and design thinking because the English words are there. Okay, so many leaders, professionals are not aware of or they assume system thinking and design thinking. And one reason is most of our educational institutes do not teach systems thinking,
Hmm.
even though it is available in the world for last 70 years.
Okay. Oh, okay. Um, so for this part of our conversation, could you share a few real life examples without even taking names from business where or everyday life where systems thinking is actually applied?
Yes, very much. So, system thinking one can apply in any aspect of life, either professional or an environment or social or industrial. So, one of the key things is to think holistically rather than analytically. That is the fundamental shift for systems thinking because all our life who are all taught analysis from very childhood. And also industry also practices most of the analytical methods, right? But chronic complex problems needs a different approach.
Mhm.
So that is where the systems approach comes into picture and really helps industries to find simple long-term solutions.
Okay.
So
So,
recently I worked with one of the clients.
mhm.
So they were dealing with a electrical component and there were multiple issues there with respect to quality, fitment, cost, and whole organization thinking this component is very complex and out of control. And then I engaged with the team and I first asked the team members, don't jump into the solution. Let's frame the problem holistically and
Mhm.
then we will go to the solution.
Okay.
And I worked with two of their senior members on a big whiteboard
Okay.
and I was prompting systems paradigms ideas. And I told whatever comes to your mind, you are going to draw it, not write in English.
Okay.
We continued this for almost 3.5 to 4 hours. And a huge picture evolved is what is happening around that component holistically. And they themselves were surprised. Oh, it is, we did not realize it is so complex and so many patterns are visible there. That was a very interesting insight and pleasant moment for all of us.
So then what I can imagine is systems thinking approach is interconnected as well as it is very visual. So you can see the patterns and then solve the problems. Is that so, sir? Okay, fantastic.
That's very correct. So in system thinking, we do all visual communication.
It's visual communication. Fantastic. Okay. Sir, this brings us to the end of part one. Um, we are going to take a look at application leadership approaches of systems thinking, but we will do this in part two. So, thank you so much for laying down the foundation for
Yeah.
systems thinking. And let's take a short break, and we are going to come back for part two for this conversation. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.